guys. Welcome to Ella Johnson After the Show. Listen, I am just so excited. We just had a domestic violence awareness show. Tommy, my friend, is here. Tommy was watching the show and he was commenting, and he's also been a guest on the Ella Johnson show as well. And he's my friend. And so I wanted him to come. I have another lady that was there watching the broadcast that wants to come and just kind of share with you guys what the show meant to them and what they thought of the show. So, hi, Tommy. Welcome. Who's also
Hey,
a survivor.
hey, sis, how you doing?
Yes, I'm good. Yes.
Good to
So,
see
did you
you.
enjoy? Always good to see you. You know, it's all. I hope to see you in July for my birthday party.
Oh, most
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah, he's gonna work it out. He's gonna work it out. So, what did you think of the show?
Oh my, I mean, the stories, the testimonies are always so powerful, on the show.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, listening to her testimony. It was triggering. I'm not gonna lie, even after this long for me, it still, is a triggering. So I was listening to her, and she bringing up God and things of that sort and Jesus, and I
Oh,
can
yeah.
remember back to 2006 and 7 and 2014 when I was dealing with my abusers, them being women and,
Yeah.
two different women in two different states. So I could remember all that. And some of the stuff that you try to push back in your subconscious. And when people say, why did you stay? Why did he or she stay? And she
Yeah.
touched on a lot of stuff. It's like people really just don't get what it's really like. They so quick to say, I woulda, I shoulda, you woulda, I wish they would. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna bust a grape. You would have sat there and been in that same situation or got yourself killed or ended up in somebody's jailhouse. So you can't really say that unless you've been in that situation. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the stuff that she touched on, the things that she had been through, I sympathize with her, I empathize with her. I've been there as a male. I've seen it. And when she spoke
Yeah.
on being shameful, being ashamed of it, I definitely have been there. I am doing therapy. Mental health awareness is a great thing. You have to be
Yes.
aware of that. You have to be strong.
Absolutely.
Mental wise. I do my advocating for DV. Like I was telling you, I still do for suicide awareness,
Yeah.
mental health awareness, because all this stuff is under the same umbrella. Sexual abuse awareness, it's all under there. Several male and female survivors have dealt with more than one, because DV is broad. It's a broad
Yeah.
array of things. So
Right. Right.
I really appreciate her coming on and speaking, and education is key, like she said. Awareness is key.
Yeah.
So a lot
Yeah.
of things that she touched on, people out here need to hear. They need to hear, and they need to open their ears real wide and make sure they listen to what she actually was saying. You know,
Yeah.
um, and be aware when your family and your friends and people are going through things. Don't close a blind eye to it.
Yeah.
So I just she touched on a lot of things. I feel like I thought I had said, oh, it ain't gonna bother me like that. But I'm sitting
Yeah.
over here trying not to get the tissue box now. She gonna make Texas
Mm.
Tommy cry over here. Like, but yeah, I feel blessed to have heard her testimony, and that's gonna help a
Yeah.
lot of people out here that are dealing with that right now.
Yeah. And I think the reason, we do these shows, Tommy, is because so many people are unaware that they're in a domestic violence situation,
Right.
or they don't know what to do, or they think they're
Hmm.
alone, or they feel ashamed. The reason I
Hmm.
keep doing these shows is to make sure that we touch people in a way and with an impact that they
Right.
know they're not alone. And
Right.
people hear this and they're like, so Tommy was a victim. Yes, men are
Yeah.
also in
Exactly.
domestic violence situations. Remember, I said
Hmm.
on the podcast, it can happen to anyone, anytime.
Anybody.
It doesn't matter about your race, age, gender, sex, faith, class. None
Hmm.
of that matters. It can happen to anyone. So, Tommy, I
Hmm.
know that one day we're going to bring you back again to share your story because your story is powerful and you're out here doing a lot of things. You're the one that's actually introduced me to a lot of domestic violence survivors. So, thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Oh, no problem. You're very
Remember
welcome.
when we had that? You remember we had that entire week where we had so many domestic violence survivors?
Yeah,
I think we should do it
yeah.
again. I think we should get us a new
We
crew
we should, and
and
we had the
yeah.
hat thing, and you remember Gene is a champion when it comes to hats, so we gotta make sure
Oh
Gene is on the
yes.
show.
Oh yes, definitely. We did, didn't we? That last night, everybody had to wear a hat. And
Yeah.
that we had it where somebody won 25, was it 25, $50 or something for
Okay.
wearing the best hat. And I think it
All right.
was it it was Sunshine that won. Was it
Oh yeah,
Sunshine?
you know she tough. She
Yeah, she
tough.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a bad sister. She's a bad one. So she definitely won, but it was a lot of fun. And it was
Yeah.
just to bring everybody together. And then I want to thank Carol, and Carol was there tonight,
Yes,
being
man.
very involved in the broadcast, as well as Desiree. We were trying to
Hmm.
get her on, but I just wanted to come back and just kind of, this was like an after the show. We just had the broadcast. If you missed it, no worries, because we're going to have a rebroadcast tomorrow at 3:00 of the show that happened tonight. But I am just so excited to continue bringing these messages. So anyone that's out there and you want to be a guest on the Ella Johnson show and you're ready to tell your story, because some
Yeah.
people, Tommy, they're not ready to talk about it. And we
Exactly.
definitely respect that here at the Ella Johnson show. So
Hmm.
if you're ready to talk about it and you're ready to share with people what you went through so that they don't make the same mistake, please, by all means, hit me up. So you
Yes,
enjoyed the
man.
show. Did you
I
see
sure did.
when we talked about Cassie and that whole situation?
I
We brought
did.
that up tonight too. Everybody
I
has an
saw
opinion.
that. Yeah,
Everybody has an
that's something
It's
else right there, you
it's a
know.
touchy, it's a touchy one. I agree. It's tough to talk about it. Nobody wants to have an opinion, but
Mhm.
everybody does have an opinion. You might just have it in your house with the people
Yeah,
you know, but
yeah.
everybody does have an opinion. So tonight, I just wanted to touch on it a little bit because it's a highly publicized
Uh-huh.
sexual abuse type situation.
Exactly.
And we all know that domestic violence, one of the types of abuse is
It's
sexual
sexual.
abuse and domestic
Mhm.
violence. So that's why I wanted to bring that. And I'm actually going to bring a whole group of people back to talk about it because
Okay.
I see now, I said, you know what, this is kind of important. What do you, if you can share, what is
Okay.
your broadest opinion about the case? Just
Hmm.
broadly.
I'll say it without trying to be biased because
Okay.
you know I am a Tupac fan. I always was a Tupac fan, so I never really was onto Diddy and Puff Daddy and all that stuff, But
Yeah.
all jokes aside, man, that the money aspect, like you guys were speaking on, you get that money, you get that power. Sometimes that money and power goes straight to your head,
Yeah.
and you use it to your advantage. And then
Yeah.
people that are around you, they enjoy all the perks that come with that money, and they just
Mhm.
deal with the things that come with it too. So they might put aside their beliefs, everything else, their morals, ethics, to chase that dollar. Like she said, for the love of money,
The
they'll
root
put
of
that
all.
everything aside that they know is wrong to
Yeah.
endure and deal with something like that. Which is sad, because
Which
that's sometimes
means
that's part
that
of
you
some.
can, because this is the thing though, Tommy. It
Mhm.
means that you can get past it if you had $30 million. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So now you put a
yeah,
price tag on the abuse. Oh, I can endure
exactly.
anything for $30 million. And so now
Yeah.
you want me to believe that this has you, because my thing is, was $30 million going to make you forget about it? Were you going to get over it?
Oh no.
30 million? And
Oh
I'm not saying
no.
that anything she went through was wrong. I'm just saying
Hmm.
credibility is questioned
Hmm.
when you bring in $30 million to the picture.
Yeah, yeah. It's a thing of integrity.
Yeah.
Or what are you doing when people aren't looking? And you
Yeah.
asking for that amount of money, you can't put no price on life. You can't put no
And
price on yourself, on your body, your mental state. You can't put no price on that, because in God's eyes, we priceless.
that's
You
right.
know what I mean? So how are you gonna put
Yeah.
30 million? Yeah, that might sound good to a lot of people. It sounds good to me with deal with the financial situations, but at the same time, like, how you gonna put a price on anything? You know, you still gonna be thinking about it at the end of the day. You're gonna be like, pretty much, I sold my soul. I sold who I was to get a few dollars that's gonna last while I'm here. But like she said, you got to answer to God. You got to get an account afterwards. You know, after
What
the
about
fact,
those freak
when it's
offs,
all
Tommy?
said and done.
What about those freak offs? They were some freaky freak offs, right? Some freaky stuff.
And you remember we had the conversation in the past year about this choking and all this stuff. You know how, man,
Yeah,
I
what
heard
he's
some
talking
stuff.
about. What he's talking about is I had brought a question at the time. I couldn't even ask the question for laughing so hard. But I asked him a question about, some people are into choking. Okay. And I
Yeah,
asked Tommy a question about that, and he just gave me an answer that was crazy. But I mean, some people are into certain things, it was my
yeah,
point. And we're not ignorant to believe that people do a lot of freaky stuff behind doors. Let's just be real.
yeah,
Unfortunately for Diddy and for Cassie, their business is out there now. The stuff they were doing,
yeah. It's out there.
but
It's gonna be
yeah,
out
it's
there.
out there, and it's gonna stick for a while. People are gonna look
Hmm.
at them differently, but it's not a crime
Yeah.
to be freaky. Because if that were the
Hmm.
case, a lot of congressmen, presidents, and everything else would be in prison if it were a crime. But
Yeah.
this goes beyond that. What he's being charged with is sex trafficking,
Hmm.
sexual abuse, meaning he transported with the ability,
Yeah.
with trying to, yeah. So y'all know the sex trafficking. So that's what he's being accused of. But all this other
Hmm.
stuff has to come out. But like I said, I'm not condoning violence. Okay. I'm not going to have a domestic violence show and then turn around and condone it. No, I'm not
Right.
condoning it. What I'm saying is that we're all looking and we're all listening and we're all watching and we all have an
Hmm.
opinion. And just so
Yeah.
happen, my opinion is that it loses some sauce for me when you brought in $30 million because now
Yeah.
you downplayed your grief, your stress,
Hmm.
your abuse. It kind of
Yeah.
played it. It's like, look, I went through this because I need to get paid. Why not get healing? Why not get the police involved? Why wasn't
Yeah.
that first? You know?
Yeah.
And I just feel like we would not be sitting here on this trial if certain things had just, I
Hmm.
that's just my opinion. But I want to bring people on, talk about it, Tommy,
Yeah.
because it's highly publicized and it's something everybody's watching. I think this is a
Yeah.
great time for domestic violence to be on talk shows. And that's why I
Hmm.
started doing it too, because I said, everybody's talking about it right now. Let's talk. Let's get out here and talk about it. So, but
Yeah. Like I
anyway,
said, y'all hit on amazing subjects tonight because, like I said, we end in Mental Health Awareness Month, and tomorrow we going
okay.
right into World Narcissistic Abuse Day. So y'all was
Oh
like right in
wow.
between it. Yeah, y'all hit them nails on the head today.
Wow. Today is mental health awareness. Wow, that's
So this
amazing.
whole month was Mental Health Awareness Month with the green ribbon.
Oh,
So
okay.
tomorrow, June 1st, you start World Narcissistic Abuse Day with the purple ribbon.
Oh my. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So yeah, it's a
World
thing. I keep up with
narcissistic.
these movements and these awareness programs. I try to
I
promote all
see.
of them. Yeah,
No, but I mean, all of it has something to do with domestic violence at the end of the day,
exactly.
because
Hmm.
people that are narcissists are usually controlling. Controlling is
Hmm.
one of the symptoms of being an abuser. So I
Yeah,
think it's good. And I'm happy for you that you're so involved in everything. I miss you. I
I
can't wait
miss
to
you
see you.
too.
So I'm telling you, my sister, she loves you. Pat said, Ella,
I
you better
love her
tell
too.
Tommy. He better get there to Orlando for your birthday. I want to see him. I'm trying to get Damon as well. So
Oh
I just miss
Lord,
all of you guys. We've had some great times right here on the Ella Johnson Show. That is for sure. So we're gonna bring a lot of
seriously.
that back. Well, listen, guys, I just wanted to be quick. We were just coming back tonight just so we can have a conversation after the show. Like I said, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, we will be live. Well, it'll be live, but of course, it's pre recorded. It's from tonight. But I just want to give you guys the opportunity to watch the show. Thank you so much, Wendy, because she let it out. Like I told her, I said, thank
Yeah,
you for
she
being so
did.
transparent. That helps us in our
Hmm.
education, because a lot of the stuff that she went through, they're like, you know what? I kind of went through that too. and she was just blessed. She got out of it, and you can too. All right.
Already.
Anything else,
Yes,
Tommy,
ma'am.
you want to say before we get out of here? That's it.
No, I just want to tell the people, just be aware, just and educate, and everything that you read ain't always true. But there's some facts in some of it. But when someone tells you something, make sure you listen to them, because they're not gonna always reach out. That one
That's
time might be the last time. So make sure you listen to what they gotta say.
Ooh, now that is so interesting that you say that. That time may be the last time. In other words, when somebody's reaching out, and don't ignore it. But I want people to be encouraged that if you do have somebody that is ignoring you and you feel like you're at the end of your rope, I don't care. Message me. I
know
may
that's
not
right.
live in your same state, but we will talk it through. We will pray it through, whatever we got to
Exactly.
do for you to come back. Because we don't want anybody losing their life. Because tonight she also brought up how someone she committed suicide, Tommy, because they just felt like there was no hope. No, we don't want that. Your life is precious. Your life is precious. And I just want to leave with this one note before we get out of here. In situations like domestic violence, yes, we have to pray. Yes, we have to trust God. Yes, we have to talk to people, but you have to also internalize who you are. I think that if you realize who you are and whose you are, it will make you step back and reevaluate. That's what we want you to do. Who you are, whose you are. All matters. Okay. All right, guys. That's all. I just wanted to just kind of get some feedback on the show, and Tommy gave that to us. You enjoyed the show, so keep watching, and let's get together and set up some shows. All right, bro. Love you. Love you guys too. Have a good night.
Love you too. Love y'all.
All right, bye.
All right now. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show. We'll see you next time.
We are supporters of the Ella Johnson Show. We live in South Korea. We have been watching Ella Johnson Show for like a year now. And we love her show. Her show is very inspirational, motivational, and educational.
If you would like to be a guest on the Ella Johnson Show, send an email to theellajohnsonshow@gmail.com or send a text message to 407-334-6997.
We love Ella Johnson Show.